Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. Today's video is, as you've hopefully noticed in the title, about my ongoing struggles in street photography. What I'm going to do in this video is talk a little bit about that up front, what I think's going on, hopefully some information maybe you can relate to. If you have any suggestions, you can make them as well. And then what I'll do at the end of the video is narrate 10 or 11 of the photos that I did when I was out yesterday and share a little bit about, I think, my ongoing struggles. So to get things started, I'm going to borrow from the great baseball philosopher Yogi Berra and remind us that half of photography is 90% mental. So my 90% mental is 50% messed up right now, or not in the place I want it to be, not in the ideal place. And I know it can be there because it's been there before. I also know it'll be there again because I've been through struggles like this before. And I know it all works because I have a whole zine full of photos that I'm glad to share with you. Not a very subtle segue there. Anyway, the zine is available in the link down below, both a print version and a digital version. Either way, they make great gifts or things to be thankful for around this Thanksgiving time. So here's what's going on for me, I think, and why I'm struggling right now with my street photography. There's a couple things, but it all comes down to what's going on in here. What's going on in here is adjusting to my new reality. So my new reality, if you don't already know, is for the past 2 months, I've been working an additional part-time job. I'm working at Kenmore Camera, which I really enjoy. But it's 3 days a week extra of work that takes away from the time I had to focus my brain and my time on photography. So I know it's a little ironic. I'm working at a camera store and struggling with photography, but there you go. That's part of it. I know I'm learning about myself that I am very rhythm driven. I like routine. I like to know what's coming up. And while I now have a new routine, I don't think my photography brain has completely adjusted to it yet. I'm not used to this new rhythm. I'm not used to finding the time, the quiet time, I think, of thinking, planning, wondering, getting ideas about what I want to do when I go out to create photos. So that's my struggle, kind of in a short nutshell. And I know I have been incredibly blessed the previous 3 years where I had a job schedule, full-time employment that allowed me so much freedom to dedicate to photography. That was a gift, and I'm really, really grateful for it. But it spoiled me in knowing how photography could be as part of my life, and now I'm working to get back there. So what I thought I would do next is share some of the photos from yesterday's trip to downtown Bellevue. And what I'm going to do is narrate the thoughts of those really quickly, what I was trying to do, what I'm not quite liking with these photos, and hopefully that'll give you some food for thought. If you have any feedback and suggestions you want to give or experiences you've had when you've hit these lulls in your photography, please let me know. Share those in the comments below. So here's some photos from the last session. I'll add some thoughts along them with them, and then we'll conclude the video with a few more thoughts. So here we go. So this first photo was along Main Street in downtown Bellevue, this new coffee shop I hadn't seen before, and just caught the barista working on pouring some ice into a cup, and with the reflections and layers, I kind of like it. It was just a little rushed in the composition. It's kind of a neat moment here. I do like some of the layers, but it's a little messy, but it does work. It was a moment that is very transitory, so you can't spend a ton of time making compositions. You just kind of have to react. So I think this photo did okay with that. This next one was one I'm kind of proud of in that it's an observation photo. This condo building in downtown Bellevue, there's a tube up there or some kind of pipe or something, and there was a guy working in it. So I happened to notice that, made a couple photos, and this is the one I like best of that set. So I know I'm still seeing things. That feels good. I know I'm still noticing things. I just have to figure out how to notice and then make a photo. So easy, right? Everybody can do it. This one I'm sharing because while I kind of like it, I don't think I found the photo. Again, this is another composition. I think there's something here. I didn't find the image that I'm really, really proud of, though. So what this is a large container, this yellow container with a lid on it that has rainwater in it, and it's reflecting one of the construction cranes towers. So as I was working this photo, I like this, but I don't love it, if that makes sense. I'm not sure where the photo is, but I also knew in the moment I didn't feel like spending necessarily 5-10 minutes to find it. And again, that's part of where my brain is right now. I'm not spending the energy, the investment of time and attention to really work the scene, especially in a static scene like this. So that's a thing I need to work on. So one of the things I like to say is pay attention to what you pay attention to as I'm talking with people about what they're photographing and what they want to photograph. And there's a couple photos in here of nature that I did, and I think I need to pay attention to that. When I'm struggling a little bit, oftentimes what I'll do is I'll find a leaf with some water drops on it, or I'll find a leaf stuck in a fence, or a little bit of nature in the midst of the city. So one of the things I think I want to do in the next few weeks is go back to Marymore Park, maybe go early in the morning, find some fog, find some birds, just spend some quiet time in nature, because I'm kind of missing that in my busyness and schedule. So this little leaf in the midst of a blueberry bush was kind of fun. I liked this composition. I liked the arrangement of the raindrops and the water drops and all the things. I think this one kind of works nicely. For me, looking for people in street photography is something I'm trying to spend some more attention on, and find some compositions and places where people can be in the scene. I kind of like this one. I like the red of the leaves of the maple tree, and then all the blues behind it. So I think this one works kind of well. I waited for this gentleman to walk through. Everybody in Bellevue seems to be on their phones. Maybe that's not just a Bellevue thing, but lots of people on phones, I've noticed. Inside this building, which is next to where I just took the previous photo, this gentleman, I noticed, again, this is where I'm noticing things still. It feels good to still be able to feel like I'm noticing things, paying attention to things that, people don't normally notice. And this gentleman was sleeping or had his head in such a way that it looked like he didn't have a head from this perspective. So this is kind of a fun, I think, photo of, the headless coffee shop person. Next, what I did, I'm struggling. I'm just trying to find some things. So what I did was I sat at this bench in the Starbucks, and which has a window to the outside, and all these leaves on the ground, and I just watched people walk by, and I just set up my camera and was just doing shoes. And I don't know why, but I kind of like it. This one in particular with the Crocs ad here was kind of fun. But in the next photo, what I'm going to do is show you just the whole sequence of a bunch of them that I get, 12 photos. So you can see the variety. And I think there's something here to pay attention to, finding ways to show uniqueness in people and still have them be anonymous, which is something I like in most of my street photography. So I'm going to show you that whole collection here. So here's the sequence of 12 photos of different people walking by, and their shoes and their different strides and the different way they stand and the different way they intersected with the leaves. So I kind of like this. It was, as a sequence, I like it together. Individually, I'm not sure each photo is super strong, but as a collection, I think there's something interesting here. And I think that's something I want to pay attention to in the future, looking for potential collections or sequences of photos that go together as a group. While I was making those people walking by photos in the previous collection, this lady was just to the right of me, less than 5 feet away, working on her computer. And I made a quick photo of her. She didn't even notice because she was very intent, as you can see, on what she's doing on her computer. I really like photos like this where people are doing something so focused that they're not noticing something that's happening right around them. I think that's an interesting commentary. Here's another leaf. This is just outside that same Starbucks. This yellow leaf on the Japanese leaf maples, or I think that's a Japanese leaf maple. But the color contrast caught my eye. A simple, I hope, composition, and it sometimes you need those easy photos, those photos that just come naturally to you to help build confidence. So that was helpful to feel like, at the end of the day, I feel like I know what I'm doing with the camera, because previously I was kind of not so sure of myself. And this last photo is of me. And I think this photo really says a lot about my day of making photos, as well as where I'm at in my brain about street photography. And I remember as I was making this photo, I was intentional about looking up, not looking at the back of the camera, but looking up and trying not to look grumpy. I don't think I accomplished that. That face is very grumpy. Maybe it's the distortion of the round ornament, but it's not a very happy face. So even though I thought I was looking happier, this photo doesn't say that. But also in this photo, when I got back to the computer and saw it, I was like, oh, I should have gotten those raindrops on the bottom. Those are pretty cool. So it's, again, another reminder. You see things, you don't see all the things. It's an ongoing process. There's always something new to learn. There's always room for improvement, but there's also acknowledgement of what has been accomplished. And, spending a couple hours going out to create photos is not a bad way to spend an afternoon. So I still feel really good about that. So in the midst of all that, I do want to acknowledge the things I'm really grateful for. I'm recording this video on Thanksgiving Day in the US, and there's so much I am grateful for. I know I'm whining a little bit or complaining a little bit or whatever this is, but I am very, very grateful. I'm grateful that I get a chance to make photos. I'm grateful that I get a chance to share them. I'm grateful that I have a couple jobs that lets me talk about photography, encourage people in their photography. So that is really, really wonderful in my opinion. And I'm really glad about it. So in the midst of all this, I hope you have had a great Thanksgiving, if that's something you celebrate. And this holiday season ahead, I hope is joyful, peaceful, and a time of rest and recuperation and celebration, all those things. So until I see you in the next video, I hope you stay safe, stay well, and have fun creating photos. Bye for now.